In the mid-70s, I met some Chilean refugees and got thrown into the middle of something I would never have thought of was happening in the world. I was drawn to this super emotional and political music that moved me and drew on my feelings in a way that the revolutionary music that I was supposedly performing at the time didn't. And I began to learn about so much pain, so much tragedy that had happened in our hemisphere, which I had no idea about. The Chilean New Song movement developed in the 60s and 70s amidst a background of social upheaval taking place throughout all of Latin America. The Cuban Revolution and also the Vietnam War at the time provided inspiration for a growing number of musicians who aligned themselves politically with the socialist struggle.
Corriendo la fábrica donde trabajaba Manuel.
Violeta Parra was a Woody Guthrie in the sense that she was the singer that wrote about the workers' struggles. Here she is singing, followed by Marcelo Puente, who is the founder of Los Compañeros, and me, singing one of his songs dedicated to Violeta Parra. On the next slide, Toronto singer-songwriter Nancy White, known for her satirical political songs on CBC's Sunday Morning, singing one of her many translations, this one, a song by Violeta called Gracias a la Vida, Thanks to Life. And then we hear Argentinian singer Mercedes Sosa sing the Spanish version.
Quebrado cerca de Vallenar, con una cruz al hombro, Rum debió cruzar. Rum siguió su viaje y llegó al Tamarugal, sentado en una piedra se puso a divagar, que sí, que esto, que el otro, que nunca, que además, que la vida es mentira, que la muerte es verdad. Ay, ay, ay de mí.
Y entonces escuchamos una voz que hizo estallar volcanes y banderas, y sin ser reina en flor se convirtió, y así fue que nació la primavera. Parra, Violeta Parra, camino y guitarra, vuelvo a amanecer. Parra, hojitas de parra, qué hermosa mañana, Violeta Parra.
Gracias a la vida, life has given me so much. The large and the small things, 2 eyes to see all things, to perfectly distinguish the blackness from the whiteness, and in the sky the brightness of the stars above me. And in the crowded streets I can pick out the one who loved me. Gracias a la vida, Life has given me so much, gave me sounds I can't forget, and all the letters of the alphabet to make the words and the phrases that tell my heart's desire, like mother, friend, and fire, and light that shows clearly the path of the soul of the one I love so dearly.
Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio el corazón que agita su marco cuando miro el fruto del cerebro humano, cuando miro el bueno tan lejos del mal, cuando miro el fondo de tus ojos claros. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado la risa y me ha dado el llanto. Así yo distingo dicha de quebranto, los dos materiales que forman mi canto y el canto de ustedes, que es el mismo canto, y el canto de todos, que es mi propio canto.
Following Violeta Parra's death in 1967, Victor Jara became one of the leading figures of the movement.
Yo no canto por cantar.
Tell me about Victor.
What shall I tell you? Well, I was in love with him, so you must take my words with a pinch of salt. But he was a very special person.
Con él son 5 minutos, la vida es eterna en 5 minutos.
Mi papá se dio cuenta que la música era una forma muy linda de comunicar ideas. Hijo de campesino, por sus convicciones políticas, se hizo cantor.
La canción es un poder muy importante para tomar conciencia frente a los momentos que vivimos.
Líbranos de aquel que nos domina en la miseria. Tráenos tu reino de justicia e igualdad.
In the 1960s, Jara and other artists used their music to advocate for political and social change and workers' rights.
The singers went to the trade unions to sing, went to factories to sing, went to universities to sing.
Eran artistas de izquierda comprometidos socialmente y políticamente con el pueblo.
In Chile, the New Song movement came to actively support the presidential campaign of Salvador Allende. A key song in that movement, El pueblo unido jamás será vencido, which means the people united will never be defeated, made famous by Quilapayún, was originally composed by Sergio Ortega in support of Allende's electoral campaign, and it went on to become an internationally recognized song of protest. Allende's government was overthrown violently by the Chilean army on September 11, 1973. Victor Jara was arrested. He had his hands smashed and was later killed. Over the previous years, Greeks had been coming to Canada, many refugees from the 1967 Greek dictatorship ruled by Georgios Papadopoulos. Coinciding with the Chilean coup on November 17, 1973, there was an uprising at the Athens Polytechnic University when military tanks burst through the gates of the university as student protests against the dictatorship reached their peak. A close sympathy developed between Greek and Chilean progressives. One example was Greek composer and conductor Mikis Theodorakis, who converted a book of poems by the famous Chilean poet Pablo Neruda into an oratorio with soloists, choirs, and orchestra. In 1974 and 75, many Chilean refugees came to Canada, among them some young musicians who I got to know. Los Compañeros was born in the Chilean New Song movement, the following coup and exile of the Chileans, and the consequent collaboration between Greek and Chilean refugees and musicians at a cafe on the Danforth called the Trojan Horse.
That is when the searching begins. The reassessment of our own identity. What a difficult task. And then you discover that you're not alone, that there are others, perhaps with different culture but with similar histories. And it's that similar history that brings us together, Chileans and Greeks in Canada, but immigrant both. Aware of the differences between our musical traditions and conscious of our similar history, we were led to the creation of a synthesis that brought about our music as it is today. A music that enabled us to speak out against our oppression and our oppressors.
Compañero, ni por un día te olvidaste de seguir siempre aferrado a tu conciencia de existir, quitando cercos, trabajando de aprendiz, siempre sembrando esa alegría de vivir en ti, en mí, en nosotros, por esta historia sin perdón. Aquí nadie muere, compañeros, aquí nadie cesa de luchar, aquí nada termina, compañeros, aquí cada día es continuar, aquí se dice todo, compañeros, de aquí sale la luz, la libertad, aquí nadie muere, compañeros, aquí es el primero, aquí estará.
Los Compañeros, in addition to guitars and drums, used many traditional instruments. These included the Greek bouzouki, the charango, traditionally made from an armadillo shell, the cleocarina pipes that can sound like birds, the quena, a long wooden flute, and panpipes, pipes of different lengths attached, with each one making one sound. Nancy White, featured earlier, translated a number of songs by Chilean musicians, including Marcela Puente, and she also wrote a lot of songs about the situation there and in Latin America in general. Here's one she wrote called Desaparecidos, the disappeared.
Disappear in the dark of the night. Some return broken from brutality, but others just never come back, and I fear the answer lies deep in the earth and the sea. Desaparecidos, thousands and thousands, lost without trace. Where is my brother, my sister, my lover? Will the day come when I'll see that dear face? You have to come with us, leave your home and your family behind. Come with us. Give us the names of all the other traitors of your kind. Come with us. If you won't talk, we have a camp where we think you'll change your mind. Desaparecidos, thousands and thousands, lost without trace. Where is my brother, my sister, my lover? Will the day come when I'll see that dear face? Lie, 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 lie.
I found the following summary on the net. It reads, Companeros was one of the most important musical groups to emerge in Canada in the 1970s and 1980s. Composed of artists from Chile and Greece and singing in Greek, Spanish, English, and French, they were the first world music group to emerge in Canada. The cultural importance of the Trojan Horse Café to the Canadian music scene at the time, where Companeros made and performed their music, made it the place to be to see and hear artists like Mercedes Sosa, Leonard Cohen, Mikis Theodorakis, Inti Gimani, and see people including the future president of Greece, George Papandreou, writers like Rick Salutin and Gwendolyn McEwen, etc. Compañeros' original members included Marcelo Puente, Ricardo Rivas, Juan Salvatierra, Juan Opitz, Demetrios Apostolou, and Adam Konstantakis. Later incarnations included Charis Polatus, Nikos Singos, Fotis Tubanos, Javier Ortiz, Rodrigo Chavez, Nano Valverde, Pandelis Papas, Eugenio Cuca Cresto, and collaborations with Nancy White and Heather Chetwynd.
Dimitri, no one's here. Mirá, aquí toma. Tienes una tía. Sácate el toquecito. Yo soy Ricardo, guitarra, una pieza. Yo soy Oscar, vaya. A rock and speak. Marcelo, creo.
Cuando salí de mi puerto, solo el viento me lloraba y el beso de las estrellas con el viento se quedaba. Volveré a pisar la primavera, subir a mi tierra que no es mía, y esa esperanza verdadera es un amor que no se olvida. Valparaíso, puerto mío, déjame ahora que te cante, mirar tu cerro, recordarte, decir futuro en cada niño, y esa esperanza verdadera es un amor que no se olvida. Τα γέριμονο δάκρυ σε για μένα και το φιλί που μου δώσε τα άστερη έμεινε έξω πίσω παρέα με τα χέρι. Τούτη την άνοιξη θα ξαναγυρίσω, λίμανι μου να σε αντικρίσω, να πατήσω τη γη στην πατρίδα μου, την κλεμμένη απ' τα χέρια τα δικά μου. Αξέχαστο λιμάνι μου, Βαλπαραΐσο, την ομορφιά σου εγώ θα τραγουδήσω, τις ψηλές μου πλαγιές σου να θυμηθώ, το μέλλον σου σε παιδικές μόρφες να δω. Αστέρετη η ελπίδα μας αληθινή, μοναδική αγάπη μας παντοτινή.